SKOL'd to the bowl. Whole lot of SKOL'd gang on this one. Yeah. Hey. SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang. SKOL'd all the way to the bowl, man. My team about to go get a ring. We don't care what the team doing, man. They ain't messing with the perp gang. It's our year, time to get this ring. Bring it home back to the SKOL'd gang. SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang. SKOL'd all the way to the bowl, man. My team about to go get a ring.
Well, I don't know if our team's going to get a ring, but we got a W yesterday at Lambeau Field, and we can't even enjoy it. Kirk Cousins' season is over. Vikings are 4-4, and everybody in the fan base wants to know, are we going to buy? Are we going to sell? Are we going to stay put? And according to Mike, we are going to go 0-7 for the rest of our games because Jaron Hall, according to him, is garbage. But we'll talk about that here. Kyla, I'll start with you. I don't even know what to say. So go with whatever you think you can.
I have never been more miserable after a win, especially against Green Bay at Lambeau, than in my life. Like, if you had told any Vikings fan that we'd all be just absolutely miserable after kicking the crap out of Green Bay in Lambeau, like, we would all have been like, why? Like, what could possibly happen?
And JJ is already out. We can't lose JJ. So
exactly. Like, I honestly don't even, like, just because I was so shocked and, like, pretty much realized, like, that injury looked just like Rodgers' injury. Like, when you saw that close-up vid, you're like, that's an Achilles. Like, I feel like I was in such a, like, blur at the end of the game. Like, I don't even know, like, how it really finished because I was so out of it. But honestly, and it's just obviously I think the season's done. Like, I don't know who we could possibly bring in. I don't think Hall's the answer. I don't think there's any sort of dunzo random free agent that's going to come in. We have a piss poor run game. It's just done. And that's depressing enough as a fan. But the fact that Kirk Cousins, he's gone kind of a lot of hate, all career. And then he took a chance, which, only two other guys did. And that's go on this show called Quarterback on Netflix. Let everyone into his life, his home life, his work life. And people started to really appreciate him kind of in the offseason. They're like, whoa, this guy's a good dude. And I felt like, the constant hating on him kind of stopped. And then there wasn't really anyone playing better than him at the position this year. He was balling out. Like, this was his year. Everyone was starting to respect him. We had that huge win against San Francisco, goes into Lambeau, balls out again. And then all comes crashing down. I just feel so bad for him. Like, poor guy.
Mike, the floor is yours, both on the game and what you expect or what do you think should happen for the rest of the season?
I'll piggyback off Kyla's point on Cousins. It's heartbreaking. It really hurts. You can't help but feel for the guy. You can't help but feel for this team. They were finally putting it back together. They had the big win on Monday Night Football. Kirk Cousins finally gets the monkey off his back, has an elite performance on Monday night. You're beating down the pack. And then in the fourth quarter, his Achilles pops on the 3rd and 19. And it's just, I said yesterday that I don't understand why Kevin O'Connell is even sending Kirk Cousins to pass there. Not that I don't think his Achilles would have popped later in the year. I don't know personally, but I'd imagine if it's going to give out, it's going to give out either way, right? I could be wrong. I don't know.
It's one of those things where it's just so random. It's just random. So who the heck knows? But anyway, go ahead.
It's just, it stings and it hurts. What I think, like Kyla said, we beat the Packers by 14 and we don't really care. Like
I wouldn't say I don't care. I would say that the shine is definitely not what it should be.
It's not like a normal victory Monday.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
just,
I'll say it like this. In 2008, when Rodgers played his first season as a starter, we lost week 1 and we beat them later on in the season. And that was the first time that Childress had beaten the Packers. Mike McCarthy at that point was 5-0 against him. And I remember being like, okay, I'm happy we won, but after hating Brett Favre for as long as I did, beating the Packers with some slappy just doesn't feel the same as beating Brett Favre. Now, yes, eventually when Aaron Rodgers ascends to a Hall of Fame level, okay, yes, now it's back to where it was with Favre. Putting aside the Kirk Cousins injury, yeah, beating the Packers always feels good, but my God, are they horrible? They are.
I don't mind. See, this is the thing. If Cousins didn't get hurt, I would have enjoyed every second of that win.
I'm just saying, it's like
better than them.
No, it's not the same. But I mean, I'll be honest, Justin. I can't speak for you or Kyla, but the Packers are bad the next 30 years or 15, heck, decade, and we pound on them every year. I mean, it'll be sweet, but you know, I seen a tweet from Dustin Baker. Dante Culpepper got injured week 8 of his final season in Minnesota, never played another snap. Yeah. Kirk Cousins gets hurt week 8 and may never play another snap. And it's funny, Justin, obviously, and it hits home for me and you because we did a video on Dante Culpepper and Kirk Cousins. And it looks like they're going to go out the exact same way, which is just, it's so Vikings and it's just crazy. But on to what's next. Does it really matter? I mean, I think they're going to bring someone in tomorrow. I do. What we hope and what we think they're going to do.
Start the rest of the year. Jaren's Mahomes Hall is going to start the rest of the year.
I don't think he will. I don't think. And by the way, Justin, I would love to trade away Danielle Hunter, Harrison Smith, Ezra Cleveland, go 4-13 with Jaren Hall, lose every game. It ain't gonna happen. They won't do it. We know the Wolves are gonna want to be relevant. They're 4-4 now. They're gonna say we're 500. Let's go 9-8. You know, we all know that's what they're gonna do. More than, or at least try to do.
You really think that Jared Hall can't lead the Vikings to any victories with Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, and TJ Hawkinson, and by the way, an offensive line that is playing really, really good. I mean, you don't think? I mean, you think that low of him that he can't win any
genuinely
game?
No. I'm not even being sarcastic. Genuinely no.
You know, I have to say, I know it's a good position for most quarterbacks to be in with the offensive line playing the way it is. And, you know, after I was hating on him, Hawkinson has shown up. Addison's stud. JJ
Powell.
JJ will be back, but we have no run game. So asking some rookie quarterback to kind of come in and just take over, like that's almost saying like Kirk was playing like a top 5 quarterback this year. And I feel, and it's not even, I'm not even trying to be rude to Hall. Like, I just think with how terrible the run game is, it's asking for a lot. Like and it would be like that for a lot of quarterbacks, especially anyone new. Like if they bring one, they have to learn that offense. And then like if the passing game goes cold for whatever reason, like there's just no way.
Yeah.
Well, I do agree that I can see the part of selling off the pieces like we've been talking about that are pending free agents and that are not going to be here next year anyway. I agree that it's highly unlikely that the Wilfs are going to give into and allow Kwesi to do that because, like you said, what kind of message does that send? Oh, Kirk got hurt, so we're just done for the year. Like, no, it's not that at all. It's one of those deals where even if Kirk hadn't gotten hurt, there's a part of me that still would have said, if you can get a first-round pick for Danielle Hunter, you do it.
That should be the case regardless, yeah. If it's a first, yeah.
I mean, regardless of whether it was Kirk getting hurt or not. Now, I'm not saying another team would have offered a first-round pick for Danielle Hunter, but I've said I would have been talking to the rest of the GMs since a couple of weeks ago. And again, we were anticipating them losing to San Francisco, which would have made them 2-5, would have made the conversations a lot easier, but they won, and they've won 3 games in a row. I totally disagree with Mike. And I think Jaren Hall, while I'm not expecting him to be a Pro Bowler or Rookie of the Year, I'm not convinced that he, after 3 preseason games, can be declared, oh, he doesn't got it. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out, because my stance was he's playing with 2s and 3s. Well, he's playing with 1s now. And so hopefully, from a Viking standpoint of what we want to see, hopefully he has assimilated the information, learned from Kirk Cousins to the best of his ability over the short amount of time. But we'll see. You got an easy schedule. You got Atlanta, you got the Saints, you got the Broncos. Now that's going to be harder than I thought it was. If Kirk was there, I think that's a winnable game. I don't think it's a winnable game now. And then you got the Bears. You got 4 games to the bye week. You can.
And then the Raiders. That's what hurts.
Yeah.
That's what hurts the most of all this. Is it was in front of them.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't.
Yeah. I'm just kind of, I'm so, again, we should be thrilled that we finally got a 2-possession victory.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Against Green Bay.
Against the guys
doesn't matter. It's crazy.
And we're just like, yeah, okay.
We can't have nice things.
No.
Have nice things.
And I think what hurts me most, and I'll be honest, Justin, I was emotional yesterday. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Everything we've wanted Kirk to do, he was doing it.
Yes.
That's what hurts. He was throwing to the sticks. He was leading. He was audibilizing. He was doing everything. He was moving up in the pocket.
Yeah.
He was showing good evasion yesterday. And it's like
he has for a couple weeks, actually.
Yes. I think that's what makes it most frustrating is we said, well, what if Dalton Reister plays? We've seen it. And it's just not right. It was taken away like candy from a baby, and it's sick. It's sick. This world is sick to Viking fans.
Oops, my fault. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if it cut me off, but I said this world is sick to Viking fans. It really is.
Kyla,
football gods hate us.
That's what I said yesterday. I said the football gods are collecting on the debt that we incurred with how many blessings they gave us last year with all those 1-score victories and all those come from behind victories. That, you know what it is more than anything? I've always referred to the Vikings as Lucy and fans as Charlie Brown, where Lucy always puts the football and says, come on, Chuck, come kick it. And every time she pulls it away. And she's done it 1,000 times. And so Chuck's finally like, no, I ain't doing this again. Oh, Chuck, I've done it 1,000 times. I wouldn't do that to you again. Come on. And she does it again.
Yeah.
That's the Vikings. They found new ways to break our hearts. They just did it halfway through the season.
Like, I genuinely
to your point, you know, the Kirk stands would always say, well, you know, give Kirk an offensive line and a defense. I'm like, okay, well, it's hard to give everything, but this defense has played okay to slightly above okay.
Yeah.
This offensive line has taken steps forward. So you not only, to your point about he's finally doing the things that we wanted him to do, we finally gave him everything.
Yes, that's what hurts. That's what hurts. It all was setting up.
We finally got an offensive line, finally got a decent defense, and we got a guy who's never missed a game from injury who then has a season-ending insight. Right.
I do want to say this because I think we're not going to be able to touch on this. So it's my last chance to do it probably on the show. Would it make sense? Mm-hmm. I just want to say thank you, Kirk Cousins, for all the memories, for everything you gave this franchise, for top 10 quarterback play since 2018, and for respectability and sustainability at the position. I've said it, Justin. You remember last year I said we won't miss him, or we won't truly miss him until he's gone. At least for this year, it's going to kick in and it's going to hurt. Hopefully, 2024 is a completely different story with a new kid on the block, and we can all sing, you know, there's a new kid in town. But right now, not right now. I'm in my feelings. It hurts.
You know what? And a few people brought this point up, and I'm like thinking about it. the Vikings have to draft someone this year. They
Yes.
absolutely have to, and that
Yeah.
will happen. But depending on how they do the rest of the season will depend on like how where are we going to draft, how good of a guy we're going to get. And a few people have said this, I can see it. Kirk Cousins is not going to be passing any physicals for a very long time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Is there a chance that, and I know for sure, like Cam Bynum said, like I was reading something that Cam Bynum said that like he is like totally fine, and Kirk Cousins like thrives on like life's battles, and he's like, yeah, nope, I'm so ready for this. I know he's going to do whatever he can to prepare for himself. Is it at all illogical to think that we draft a guy, maybe it's not quite, starting material already? Kirk Cousins is will be like 36 next summer, coming off an Achilles injury. He's probably not going to, I mean, who knows, but probably not going to have teams begging to sign a massive contract with someone in that position. Does he come back for a year? Teach the guy, comes on a cheap deal that works for everyone. And I was
if he came back on a cheap deal.
What's cheap? That's the question.
Yeah.
That's the point.
I don't
That's
know
my
what
point.
that is anymore.
I don't think that there is a number that he would go down to that I'd say, okay, I'll bring him back for 1 year.
Would he
and
do
I don't
1
think
year,
he wants
25?
1 year anyway. I wouldn't bring him back anyway. I don't think he wants to be here for. I don't think he wants a 1 year deal.
I see. This is the thing. This is the thing, Justin. I criticize Dave for all the times he mentioned a 1 year deal. Now, I don't think it's going to happen. But if there was a chance, it's based off circumstances like this. Because, like Kyla said, there's not going to be a bunch of teams clamoring. He's coming off a torn Achilles. Who knows how he recovers from that? Who knows how he looks after that? The Vikings might say, hey, year 3 in this offense, the playbook. 1 more year. Why not? And I know he likes it in Minnesota. I don't know. It's a very interesting conversation to have. We won't know it till later on. Because like kind of said, I don't think he'll pass a physical in March.
No,
I don't.
He won't pass a physical in July.
Yeah.
It's going to be, unless you're Aaron Rodgers, apparently you can come back in like half a year. Apparently he's just going to come back this year off torn Achilles, which would really be something. We'll see about that. But
yeah, we will see about that. I'm not buying that for a minute.
But
I'm saying, here's my opinion. No. Yeah. If he says I'll play for $5 million, fine, because his cap number would be 15. Because you have to add 10 to whatever his cap number is because of the void years. Now here's the deal. You might end up his contract voids at a certain point, and you may not be ready to sign him for another year because you got to do that before I think it's the end of March. And if he can't pass a physical in March, no, I ain't signing him. Then we're taking all $28.5 million for those void years that Bill's due. So no, first off, I wouldn't want imagine any other quarterback on any other team besides Kirk Cousins. And I said quarterback X is available. He's a 36-year-old, pretty good quarterback, but he's coming off an Achilles. Every one of us would say, nah, I'm going to take a pass on a guy coming off an Achilles injury who's 36 years old. Okay?
It depends. It depends on who it is. If it was Peyton Manning with the neck, a lot of teams wanted him. I don't know.
We're not, but that's Peyton Manning.
Yeah. I will say this. Kirk will find a new team, and he will start for a new team if he isn't back next year.
Sure,
that is,
you know what? That's fine.
100%.
Let some other
100%.
team take the risk and pay him.
Do we also can we?
I just hate that. Oh, go ahead, Kyle.
He's already spoken to Aaron Rodgers. Like, has he not?
Yes.
You'd imagine he has. You'd imagine. I will say, if it is the end, and I think it is, what a crappy way for it to end. It never should have ended like this. It's
Oh,
unfortunate. And it stings. It really does. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know a time, and I'm younger, Justin, so bear with me here. 09 didn't hurt me as much, right? I've told you this because I was much younger, like you were back then, right? When you said your first NFC title game loss didn't hurt as much because you didn't really fully didn't fully comprehend.
I didn't
100%.
fully understand it in
Yes,
'87.
and that's how I kind of felt in 09. You think, well, you can get back. Now, as a grown up, this hurts. I don't think we were going to go to the Super Bowl, but I hate that it ended this way for Kirk Cousins in Minnesota.
You know,
he had a heck of a career.
Here's what you were saying. You were talking about that Kirk got hurt in the same week that Dante did.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Kirk. His first game, 2018, against the San Francisco 49ers. His second game was the tie in Green Bay, Wisconsin, 29-29.
Wow.
His last two games against the San Francisco 49ers and the Green Bay Packers.
That's crazy.
I'm ready to be done. I've been saying that. I've said it before. I say it again. We talked about thresholds that if you miss the playoffs, gone. Wild card round loss, gone. Division round loss, gone. NFC Championship game victory, regardless of how the Super Bowl plays out, absolutely re-sign. And if you get to the NFC Championship game and lose, it kind of would depend on how the game went. Nothing about that has changed for me. I'm just saying I'm ready to start anew. I'm ready to pay off the bills. Listen, you're in a win-win situation with Jerry Mahomes Hall. If he shows you something and gets you as into the 7th seed, there's still the 7th seed right now. If he gets you to the playoffs, even if you do lose in the first round, that's different. We're talking about a 5th round draft pick. And if he fails, well, then we'll have a top 10 pick. And at that point, you'll know if you got something in him. One of us will finally be proven right.
I'm going to be right. I'm confident.
I'm
confident in that.
Of both you guys.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I kind of see it. If, like, I know, Mike, we were talking earlier, I don't want to see him play. But if he sucks, sick. Like, we got a really good draft.
Exactly.
See, this is the thing I said, Kyla. And I will fully explain myself. It's not that I don't want to see him play, because I have a very good idea what he's going to do. So if he plays, I'm not necessarily angry at that. I'm worried this team is not going to trade anybody. They're going to just play him.
Right.
Which will bother me, because then you've picked up 0 assets from Daniel Hunter, Harrison Smith, Ezra Cleveland, and you've been bad, and then you're going to just lose all those players at free agency when you could have just gotten resources. Mm-hmm. That's what angers me, because if you're going to keep everyone, then you have to acquire somebody. That's why I said at the beginning of the show, and where I felt all day, after having a sleep over it, I want to see Hall play if we get rid of everyone. But if we're going to keep everyone, I'd rather see a veteran.
The thing is, either
why?
way,
What does that change for you?
I want us to have draft assets if we're going to be crap, because then we can actually get the guy, one of these golden, whatever, blue chippers, whatever term you want to use. Right.
To me, if you're going to get rid of everybody, I'd rather have the inexperienced rookie play. If that's what your objective is, why would you bring in a veteran that's going to help you win more games? I don't get it.
No, but that's the thing. They're not going to get rid of everyone. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, all right.
That's where I'm angry, Justin, because I know what they're going to do.
Right.
That's what I think frustrates me most of all.
You ain't lying.
Is I know the Wolves are going to bring in a quarterback tomorrow. I know they are. Who it is, God only knows. But KOC has already kind of hinted at it. He said you wouldn't believe all the messages I've seen on my phone.
Of course, that's what he's going to say.
He hasn't given Jaron Hall the glowing message that you're the guy now. Like, I think they're going to bring somebody in. They've worked out Colt McCoy recently. I don't want Colt McCoy. I don't.
Even if
what they're going to do is different.
Go ahead, Kylie.
They have to bring someone in, even if it's a backup for Hall.
Right.
But
you could elevate Sean Mannion. We could have that discussion.
I don't want to hear about Sean Mannion.
Hey, if you want Jaron Hall to play, that's the best way it happens. At least in my mind.
One of my friends who's a Niners fan, I think I tweeted today, is like if you could pick one guy, like, I do not want the Vikings making any trades. Like, sign someone or don't. Like, do not waste a trade back on anyone.
Yes, that part wholeheartedly.
That's the only thing I really care about. But he goes, just stay away from Nick Mullins. I was like, dude, he's already on the team. He's on the IR.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, we got Nick Mullins and Sean Mannion. They were guys that
nightmare. Like, now that you've explained it more, Mike, like I get it. Like, that would be so frustrating if we lose Hunter next year and we win like one more game for the rest of the year.
Right.
Also, like, just because we have improved on defense, we do have offensive weapons. We don't trade anyone because I agree. We're not. Like, this team, the Wolves are not giving up yet. We win 7 or 8 games.
That's the worst part.
That's what they're gonna do.
And
That's what they're gonna do.
We don't get a high draft pick, and we lose these guys. And maybe I don't know. There's so many.
That's exactly what's been rolling through my brain all day, Kyla. That's what's upsetting me most. Because any team with common sense would realize it's over. You just lost Kirk. It is done. This team will not go anywhere without Kirk Cousins. They won't. Brian O'Neill's nearly crying in the locker room. They're broken. I don't care.
You know what? It reminds me of how dim the locker room was when Teddy got hurt, because he's their leader. Of course they're going to be whatever. So I'm just saying, I agree with you that what they should do is probably what they're not going to do.
That's exactly my point. Yes, that's where we agree.
I mean, it's not that complicated.
No.
But it's funny. I was doing my show last night with Rap, our post-game show, and one of the comments was, what do you think Kwesi will do? I said, it's not about Kwesi. It's about Ziggy and Mark Wilf. Kwesi can have an entire plan of selling off pieces, and he can have an entire plan of buying pieces.
Yeah, yep.
And it's not his decision. It's Ziggy and Mark Wilf's decision. I will shout out James in the building. What's going on, James? Good to see you. And by the way, I put in the chats both on Facebook and YouTube a link to Skol for Days. That's going to come up here at about 8:15 Central Time. But I think what Kwesi wants to do is what we want to do, which is sell off Danielle Hunter, see what you can get for Harrison Smith, see what you can get for KJ Osborne and Ezra Cleveland. Those 4 guys in particular. And there may be some other pending free agents that, off the top of my head, those are the 4 guys. I think that Kwesi, because he's the Moneyball guy, of course he's looking to say, and that's not tanking, by the way. I hate when people say, "Oh, you traded players, therefore you're tanking." No, it's just like in baseball or hockey. You got a guy who you're not going to re-sign, who's on the last year of his deal. You move him for prospects.
Yeah.
And that's what draft picks are, prospects. So why this is tanking, or why they wouldn't do it? Because again, you can say all you want. We have faith in Jaron Hall. Okay. Do you? I mean, come on.
I don't. I'll say it. All right. I don't. And Justin, you know what I think it is? At least in my opinion, you asked why do so many fans view it tanking compared to other sports? I think because the trade deadline in my lifetime, other than like 5 years ago, right? Recently, there used to be one trade. I remember religiously in high school. I'd look at my phone, big football fan, nothing. I think people aren't accustomed to it. But I agree with you wholeheartedly because we both watch other sports. I watch a lot of hockey.
Right.
Yeah, you trade resources, but football, the Wolves should do it. They won't. That's ultimately what it boils down to. I expect a Carson Wentz, some other guy, Colt McCoy, by Tuesday or Wednesday.
Hell no.
I can't stand Carson Wentz.
No.
I can't imagine.
Please no. And if you're going to sign somebody, what's it costing? If it's costing you a couple million, I still say don't do it, because that's a couple million you can roll into next year's salary cap. So I would rather just put it all in the piggy bank. You don't spend a big, what's that phrase? Burning a hole in your pocket? No, I don't want, James makes a good point. What about again? If you could get him for like a 6 round, but again, I don't want to spend any draft.
Davis Mills. Oh God Almighty, the giraffe. For what?
I mean,
he's even worse.
For a 6, sure.
No, I wouldn't give him for a bag of Lay's potato chips.
So you
honestly,
rather have Jaron Mahomes Hall than
yes, that's how much I don't like Davis Mills. All right. He's even worse.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, I don't want to. Like people say, well, we should trade for Derrick Henry so we have a running game to support.
Oh,
Jared.
God.
No, just
We
stick
do
with
that,
what
I'm
you
going to
got.
throw a chair across the room in my house. Honest to God, they do that. I'm going to lose it
No.
because it won't be cheap.
No.
I do want to ask you, Kyla and Justin, though. What is the percentage you think, not what you want, what you think they're going to bring in a quarterback?
Go ahead, Kyle.
Sir, why I missed that?
What are
What
the odds?
percentage chance do you
yeah.
give for them to bring in another quarterback?
Well, I mean,
Yes.
Sorry, I don't even remember what exactly is wrong with Mullins. Like, aren't they going to have?
He's got a back injury. His back injury. He's got a back injury.
Yeah, he's got one more.
He's not very good either overall, but that is the main reason why he's not playing right now.
Either, like, I'm not. This is a horrible situation, but if he's not ready, like, aren't they going to have to kind of bring in someone anyway?
Well, they could elevate Sean Mannion. That's why I kind of was joking, but that's why I said it. That's why I said it.
I totally understand, and I don't have faith in this guy either. It's wild to me that a lot of people think he could be good. Even I don't know, but I guess
this fan base is silly. They say all sorts of theories.
Here's what I'm saying. I do not think.
I'm not saying you, by the way, Justin.
Yeah, I know. That's fine. I know what you say about me when I'm not. I'm just playing.
Oh, stop! As if I ever do that.
I'm saying, shout out Skull Mafia. What's up? Hit those like buttons, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't hit like on the way in, and if you're on Facebook, hit the stars button or something. That's what he always says. I don't know what the stars button is, but whatever. Here's what I'm saying. I would not bet my hard-earned money that Jerry Mahomes Hall is going to turn into a starter and is going to turn into a solid quarterback. It would be like what Kirk did as a 4th round pick, what Dak did. I think he was a 4th or a 5th. That's extremely rare. So the odds are extremely against him. All I am saying, the only thing I'm saying is I think it's preposterous for either side. I think it's preposterous to say I've seen enough from Jaren Hall that even if Kirk hadn't gotten hurt, that he was going to be our starter in 2024. I'm sold on him. I think that's preposterous. I think it's preposterous to say I've seen enough. I know Jaren Hall 100% is not going to be the guy. I think both sides are ridiculous. I don't know what Jaren Hall is going to be. I haven't seen enough to say, yeah, he's the guy, but I also haven't seen enough to say he's garbage either. So I'm just saying, we saw him in the preseason with 2s and 3s. And what did I say to you, Mike? He's playing with 2s and 3s. Now we get him playing with 1s. So we'll see.
This is, pardon me, no offense to anyone, the same fan base who, when we drafted Kellen Mond, I remember seeing people that halfway through next season, mark my words, he'll take the starting job from Kirk Cousins.
RG3 was part of them. I remember that garbage.
Right. Oh my goodness.
I remember that garbage.
Shout out Skull TV. This is the first time I've seen you. Just to hit the recap, we're going to be done in about 3 minutes here. I'm going to put it in the link one more time. Come on over to Purple and Gold for Days. That's my channel. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. But there's a link to the live for my show, Skull for Days, going off at 8:15 Central Time. And, this is kind of one of those, this is the conversation show where we just have a conversation. That show is just me giving my unabashed and, full emotional recaps of the game. So hit that like button, both on this show as well as mine after the fact. Welcome to the NFL Hall. Meet Calais Campbell. Well, there's that. There is absolutely. But again, this is what I want to see for the rest of the season. What are we? 4-4 out of 17. So that's not. Yeah, we got 8 games left. This is an 8-game audition. And you're auditioning with a decent offensive line. And after next week, hopefully we have JJ back as well. It's not going to be flawless. There's going to be tons of growing pains. Absolutely there are. All I'm saying is this is good. I mean, it sucks that we're on a 3-game winning streak. We're getting this thing turned around. And yeah, with Kirk, we might have been able to compete for the division. And maybe we don't lose in the first round. Maybe we lose in the divisional round. But I'm okay with the idea. I don't want to see him bring in an Andy Dalton or a Jameis Winston or who's the other guy? Carson Wentz. No, just If you want, just go with the guy you drafted. Because again, if he shows you he's got something, then you don't have to draft a quarterback in the first round next year. If he shows you anything close to what Russell Wilson did his rookie year, is that likely? No, but it's not impossible. And guess what? If you end up being right, Mike, and he's absolute garbage, now you got a top 10 pick and you can get whatever quarterback you want. So it's a win-win for me. Last thoughts. Kyla, I'll start with you. I mean, we've all had our points here tonight in our rambles, but what do you say? Take us home.
Season's not to be negative, and I know a lot of people aren't, but it's done. Like, we're not going anywhere. I totally see it is frustrating. I agree, and I totally agree with both of you. The Wilfs should just be sellers. We know they're not going to be sellers.
Right.
So all I'm going to do is just take it week by week and just try and enjoy the last half of the season and just be along for the ride. I have no expectations anymore. What is will be, and that's all I can do. Final thought on Kirk's part. I know he's going to be in the locker room, on the sidelines all the time, and whoever is at starting quarterback,
right,
he's going to be like helping them big time. So that's a bonus.
Mike, your final thoughts.
All right. I'm glad you threw it at me. So the man who ruined Puka Nacua even at BYU is, here's a bold take, and I mean this, he will have more interceptions than touchdowns by the end of the season.
I'll take that bet. No, I won't. I'm just saying, this is, if you had any scenario yes, I would love to have a stronger running game because, a running game.
If we had a good rookie like Will Levis or Anthony Richardson, even, who I wasn't that high, still not, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, I'd agree with you. We don't. That's the thing. If we had an actual competent prospect, I would agree. He is going to be brutal.
How about if they had DTR, would you feel the same?
Based on what he did in Cleveland, I wouldn't feel great about it. Do I still think he's better than Jaron Hall? Probably. I'm a little bit disappointed though when I saw Cleveland. Mind you, Cleveland they're crap. Like Kevin Stefanski's probably going to get fired. But
yeah, here's the thing about Cleveland. You made your bed with that Deshaun Watson guy. And,
Yep.
Apparently, Cleveland, it doesn't look like it'll be a happy ending for you. Thank you kindly, everybody, for joining us. This is A Day with Mike and Kyla. We just want to see the Vikings win one Super Bowl just one time before we die. And it doesn't look like it's
No.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'll see you in about 45 minutes over on Purple and Gold for Days. Other than that, y'all have a great rest of your evening. Skol Vikings, baby.
Skol.